Welcome to the Michael Lenoci Show, guys. Welcome back. We had a Zoom week where you watched us do a live draft. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.
Yeah.
Because, it was good practice. It was good to know. It helped people draft accordingly in their draft. Not getting specific with, maybe something I am personally talking about. But, Anthony was in my draft.
Yeah.
And he took two players in the draft that I had taken in the mock draft. Now, integrity is a strong word.
Integrity? Dude, I'll give you this whole thing with Pickens, but you can't claim Njigba. And that was like the 10th round, dude.
Fine, but you knew that if he fell to me, I was taking him. Did you?
I did not think that at all.
Okay, then if you truly,
I truly did,
from the bottom of your heart, did not think that, then I will let that guy pass. But the Pickens one was purely out of spite.
No, it wasn't, dude.
And you grinned when you did it.
No, dude. So in my head, I'm thinking like, fuck yeah, Mike's going to be happy I'm picking well. And in my head, I thought you were going to text me like, good pick, bro. But I didn't think you'd get so mad at me.
Well,
Yeah.
because you knew that was about the area where we could get him. You didn't want to take Pickens with your first three picks.
I think you are giving me too much credit, though. I don't think I'm not.
You didn't do it maliciously.
No, I would not.
So you
do that.
saw
I would not do that
Pickens and you were
maliciously.
like, you saw Pickens and you're like, oh man, I should get this guy. Not, oh man, I know Mike's gonna try to get this guy, so I should get him.
No,
before.
not at all. And you made a comment about him a few weeks ago, or at the beach the other day, and I had a draft that night, and I picked him that night in that draft too. So he's my flex in two.
You
leagues.
got him You got him in the fourth round or fifth
In my other league.
in our league. We will not talk about your other league. We're talking about our league.
I think I got. It must have been the fifth.
Here it is. I'll tell you right now. Rounds. Round 2, round 3. You didn't get him in the fifth.
Fourth.
Oh, hold on.
'Cause I got.
Maybe you did get him in the fifth.
I would-
You got him in the fifth round. And then, therefore, I shouldn't have waited, but I did. I think first, second, third, fourth. So fifth, it was coming down. So this was a long time before I had picks. So I for sure thought that after the fourth round, where I took Joe Burrow, I thought, well, I had to get a quarterback because the quarterbacks are going early. I'll tell you what, though, with my third pick, Keenan Allen, would have rather had Pickens. I should have grabbed him then.
You would have rather had Pickens and Keenan Allen.
Yes, I would. I'll trade you Keenan Allen for Pickens. Would you do that?
I don't know.
And you don't know if you would change Dalvin Cook for Pickens because that's who I went with instead.
I'm more likely to do that one.
Because I got, I thought Dalvin Cook in the fifth round is good value.
It's great value. I'm going to consider that. I got your guys, dude. I got Tyreek too with my first overall pick.
I'll give you I'll give you Dalvin Cook and Keenan Allen for Tyreek Hill.
No, dude. For Tyreek,
Yeah.
my best player. I love Tyreek Hill. I get him almost every year.
Wow. Well, that's got to be tough to root for him this year, huh? As he breaks the single season wide receiver record for receiving yards.
Yeah, I think that could definitely happen. I think he's
so
one of the
you
most
believe
talented.
in this offense?
I believe in Tyreek Hill. I think they're going to put up points, dude, for sure.
Well,
With
what happens when you put up points?
They'll win some games. I'm not saying they're a bad team, but I'm not. I just think the Patriots will be better. But dude,
we're not going to get into it every week. But yes,
yeah, a stupid pick I made. I was like, oh shit, everybody picked quarterback so far. I got to get a quarterback, and that should mean I don't have to pick a quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, who'd you take?
I got Cousins with the 8th round.
You probably could have waited on Cousins.
Yeah. But I picked him because I saw Rodgers and Cousins. And if Rodgers came around, I was going to get Rodgers, but he got picked like the pick before me.
Yeah, then that's fine. You never know. People could have started taking backups,
Yeah.
I just don't do the backups. I'm just like, hey, this guy's starting every week. On the week he doesn't, I'll use a backup.
I was going to go with
that's
that.
a free agency.
I was going to go with that, but I just picked up Jared Goff at my last pick.
But my first, we'll go through the teams really quickly because we kind of already did fantasy stuff, but we want to get into our week 1 predictions. But, pull up your team. Who's your first pick? My first pick, I had 10th overall, and I went with Saquon Barkley. At that point.
Good pick.
Now, here's the thing, man. You went with Tyreek Hill at 7. I went with Saquon. A couple guys. There's 4 guys that went after that I think I even rather have than Saquon. But I was just I was overwhelmed. Like Garrett Wilson.
No, I thought you were going to get him coming back around, but I think he got picked right before.
He got picked right after me.
Okay, right after.
And then Derrick Henry was the last pick in the round, which part of me was like, oh, wouldn't he be better? But then I'm like, I don't know.
I had that convo. I wanted to get Henry or Saquon.
And then Josh Jacobs went right before me, which if he was there, I would have taken him. I would have had 2 running backs.
On the way back, yeah.
But, yeah, so I got A.J. Brown, which I felt good with. He's the best wide receiver available before, because then Devontae, Waddle, and CeeDee Lamb and St. Brown. There's only 2 other ones after that. CeeDee Lamb and St. Brown. I honestly rather have A.J. Brown because it's a winning team.
Would you rather have A.J. Brown or
Devontae Adams?
Yeah.
I might have taken Devontae if he was there. It would have been.
Adams wasn't there?
No, he went right before. So I probably would have taken him. But I went, my second pick, A.J. Brown, and yours is you went with Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard is the best. He was the best available running back. Not my favorite second overall or second round pick.
not something I would have done. I would have skipped it.
You would have done, but you would have just not got a running back at that time. Running backs are thin.
Well, I'm
dude.
just thinking. I know that, but I'm just looking at imagine if. Well, you can't take Waddle because you had Tyreek, but yeah.
What I should have done was probably get Saquon or something. Then get Waddle.
For whatever reason, I like Najee Harris better. I feel like they use him way more. No.
Maybe, yeah, you're right.
It's all right, but he went late. Najee.
You never know. Yeah, never know with him. Mixon was there too. I couldn't pick.
I like T. Higgins late, but my third pick, I have Keenan Allen, and that could be huge. That could be a huge thing, but it also could not. And you have Cooper Kupp. Now
that could be
Cooper Kupp,
huge, bro. Third round.
It could.
Cooper Kupp?
I wasn't willing. I said I was on FaceTime with 2 other friends, and I said if Kupp's there in the 5th, I'll take him.
Uh-huh.
I was like 5th round is crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy to get Kupp in the 5th, and sure enough, I think in the 3rd is still good value. It's very good, but I wasn't willing to do it. I was willing to do it instead. And then all of a sudden, at that point, Lamar went, and I knew I had to take that. I knew that I was going on that long run again, and that I wouldn't survive a quarterback thing. And sure enough, I took Joe Burrow. Then Justin Fields went, and then Justin Herbert went, and then that was it. And then the next quarterback to go is in the 7th round, Trevor Lawrence, which I would have loved to wait for him. I would have been happy with that.
Yeah,
that was a good. And then Deshaun Watson went there. Those are good, But overall, I'm happy with my team. What about you?
I'm happy with it. I think I got crazy depth. I got a lot of question marks. I got Mike Evans with my 7th pick. That could work out.
Well, I'm with you. Listen, my bench players. Look, I
got J.K. Dobbins with my 4th pick. Who knows how that's going to be?
Right now, my starting lineup is Joe Burrow, A.J. Brown, Keenan Allen, Saquon Barkley, Dalvin Cook, Godhurt for Philly, which I think is probably a top 5 tight end. Yeah. I got him really late.
Yeah.
And then I have now the flex as of right now is Deion Jackson because he's the starting running back in Indianapolis. Now on the bench, I have Gabe Davis. I have Michael Pittman Jr. He's the one. I have OBJ. It's, probably the second on the, I would think the second on the Ravens, but, I would be shocked if he ended 3rd on the Ravens, but I would say he's probably the second.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe. And then I have, Zach Moss, the other running back, so that one of them is going to get used. And then Tyler Boyd and Adam Thielen are hopes. That they get used. And then I have your boy Gesicki at tight end that I'm probably going to drop because I have to get a kicker.
That's tough. I saw Gesicki there. I couldn't get myself to pick him.
That was my last pick of the draft.
Okay. Do you think...
I don't have a kicker yet. I have to change that.
So is Zay Flowers the number one, or they're probably making Bateman the number
Bateman's
one.
probably the number one, but I mean, this Zay Flowers could turn into the Garrett Wilson of last year. You know, going into last year, the Jets' number one receiver was Moore.
They got Nelson Aguilar too, and they got that guy Devin Duvernay, number 13, that little guy. They have a great receiving core.
Yeah,
this guy Tylan Wallace supposed to be pretty good too.
It's tough, man.
Ravens will be good. They're scary.
Well,
good defense too.
Should we get into week one?
Yeah.
Okay. So, welcome to week one of the NFL. What are we on, episode 10 of the pod, if you're listening? So, you know, what do we got here? We got opening night. I wish it had the spreads out. Doesn't matter. I guess I'll look on my phone.
I'll look as well.
We'll look at what's the spreads for, and Marlins are making a run. 5 in a row.
Really?
Yeah. They're tied for the wild card. Sorry to bring up baseball, guys, during football season, but they got me peaking. Again. I go, hello, Marlins, beating the Dodgers today. All right. Opening night, you got a lot of questions, right? With some off-the-field kind of stuff with the Chiefs. The Lions coming in. It's banner night. Chandler Jones is not going to be there.
For the Raiders? Correct.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Chris Jones.
Okay, yeah.
For the Chiefs.
The Chiefs, yeah.
Chandler Jones is not going to be there either. He's a holdout for the Raiders.
See what happened today?
No. What happened today?
I'll tell you after. Well, he
is it on the news? Say it.
He posts on his Instagram story. He's real mad at the Raiders right now. He's had some mental problems.
Oh, he's a little.
Yeah, he's like schizophrenia, and he kind of went off on the team. He unfollowed Max Crosby today. He's not going to travel with the team. He didn't travel preseason either.
So this guy might go AWOL.
Yeah.
Oh, this is just that's a real bad start for the Raiders.
Yeah, it's a typical Raiders start.
It's gonna be, we'll get into it. We got the Lions coming to Kansas City. A Lions got a lot of hype, right? People are high on it. I think Vegas is buying into the hype a little bit for only 5, less than a touchdown. They think it's gonna be a close game.
This one says 6.5.
I have it -5.
Okay, I'll check a different one.
Well, I just go the one that's on NFL.com.
Okay.
I feel like they would have it, right?
Yeah, right. There's so many sites, though, dude. Okay. What do you think? Who are you taking?
I don't think we buy into this. I think we, if you were betting, I think I'm taking the Chiefs -5. I think that as good as these Lions can be, it's week 1 in Kansas City. Like, they'll get back on track next week. Or, here's the thing. Is it a win for the Lions if they go out there and they're going back and forth and they lose?
They cover?
Not even cover. They just, they lose by a touchdown.
Yeah.
At the end of the game, it's 31-24. Chiefs win. The Lions are good.
What about, so are we, this thing that we're doing when we're picking teams, are we picking it with the spread or just straight up?
No, we're picking it straight up.
Straight up? Okay.
Yes. But, we're throwing in the spread for the listeners.
Yeah, of course. I'm taking
Chiefs both.
I'm taking Lions money line, dude. That's one of my upsets.
Okay, so your upset is Lions. You're taking Lions.
Yeah.
No, we're not doing the spread. You're just taking Lions.
Yep.
Okay.
Hangover for the Chiefs. Travis Kelce's probably not going to play.
Yeah, I mean, that's more of a reason where it's like now it's even harder.
Yeah.
Because at least if he's in there, you go, okay, well, he's going to him 15 times.
Yeah.
Let's try to stop it. Now you're like, who is he going to?
Yeah, different team.
So, good for you. But I think the Chiefs are like, relax. This is a dynasty.
Yeah.
We've been to 3 Super Bowls in 4 years.
But you see these really good teams. Like when the Patriots were really good.
Once they lost the players, they haven't lost any yet. Maybe one. Now, defensively, could this affect them? Sure.
They figure stuff out early in the season. They don't care, though.
Fine. I guess time will tell. But I'm still I would even take the Chiefs -5 in this. He would obviously take the points. Either way, that's a bet you stay away from. It's the first. It's opening night. I stay away from this game.
You take the over in that one if you're betting it.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the over is. 55, 51, what?
It's the line's 53. Yeah,
Sure.
that's tough. That's close. But 31-24, that's over.
All right, next game we have the Panthers at the Falcons. By default, I think this goes unsaid. Anyone thinking, what's the spread here? But I mean, for me, it's the Falcons, and it's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't expect a rookie quarterback to come in and win Week 1.
Yeah, I'm taking the Falcons too.
I don't know what the spread is.
-3.5.
That's a low spread. That's what's scary about it. You're like, why is it only 3.5 and why is it not -6?
Well, going into we don't have
We just
really,
don't know.
We don't have any real idea how these teams are going to be.
No, but you assume based off of how things have gone in history, a rookie quarterback doesn't come out and just kill up a defense. It never happens.
Yeah, but not saying he's going to kill the defense, but Desmond Ridder on the other end, this could be just a defense
Sure,
game.
He's a second year player, and also their offense is pretty much 70% run, 30% pass. So they're going with Bijan Robinson.
Yeah.
Whereas the Panthers, they don't have any identity, and they're going to try to find it. And you assume this guy's going to either get sacked from holding the ball too long, or just have a very missed throws, missed timing stuff, maybe a couple picks, who knows? And I don't know the defense for either of these teams.
You're right.
If anything, I think Atlanta has the better defense.
You're right, but then they still got Adam Thielen. They could they could put something together. I think this will be a big defense game, and I'm picking Atlanta too. You're
Okay,
right.
Our next game is probably the one no-brainer of the week, and that's the Texans at the Ravens.
Yeah, dude.
I think that the Ravens get off to a hot start, and we both take those teams,
Yeah,
and
it's
that's a no-brainer for us.
Probably the biggest spread. It's 10.
Yeah, it's -10, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, -10, look at that, Easy one, -10.
I am pumped to kind of see the new look Texans a little bit, though. They got some good guys.
Yeah, I mean, there will be some highlights more than last year, I would say.
I'd take the over.
What's the over on that?
43.5.
Interesting.
It's close,
All right, as of right now, we have in our next game, I guess we don't know, but it's Bengals at Browns, and as of right now, it's listed as questionable for Joe Burrow. I believe he plays.
You think he plays?
Because here's how I see it. If they did not play him, I feel like that would have been said by now. And the fact that Cincinnati is -2.5
That's close, dude.
lets me know that Vegas thinks he's playing. Otherwise, it's the other way. And people betting are not sure.
Or is it like
the money's
6.5
moving?
or is it 6.5 spread if he's playing?
No, because we're now. I mean, I just think we're talking about less than 5 days out. I think people are betting on the Browns right now, and that's why it's moving it lower, because we're still not sure. But the fact that it's still there is people are like, someone's hearing something.
I don't think the Browns are going to have a huge year, but I think people are going to get hyped on them after this week. I think they're going to win. I'm taking the Browns.
You're taking the Browns.
Yeah, especially
regardless of Burrow or not.
I don't think he's going to play.
Okay, I think he's playing, so I'm going with the Bengals. But of course, if he doesn't play, I would like a mulligan. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But as of right now, that's what I think. I mean, the other sure game for me this week is Jacksonville at Indianapolis.
Yep. The spread on that, we got 5, so not crazy.
That's crazy to me. That's like I think they easily cover that.
Yeah. You're right, for sure.
But
you'd expect that to be kind of similar.
So you're
to the
taking
Ravens.
the Jags as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pumped on the Jags this year.
Now, another one. I took them in my knockout pool, which I have 4 teams. The 4 teams I took in my knockout pool, we've gotten to 2 of them, or 3 of them. The Ravens, and the Jags. And here's my third pick of the 4 that I have is this game here, the Bucks at Minnesota, which you have the spread is -6, one of the higher spreads for Minnesota.
Interesting.
And I think it's going to be a slower year. I'm not saying that Mayfield is going to be a horrible quarterback, but
Vikings are going to come out swinging at home. They're so good in those early 1:00 games. Yeah.
Well, right now we only have 2 games that are different. Bengals at Browns, and Lions at Chiefs.
Okay.
Which, your upset of the week thus far is probably they were Lions at Chiefs.
Yeah. Did you see the spread for the Niners Steelers is only 2.5? Is that a little slim?
I think people, and I'm one of them, are high on the Steelers from their preseason games, watching their first team go at it, and not knowing what kind of rust the 49ers will come on with their quarterbacks and Bosa. We don't know if he's playing, but we could do. We'll just do that game since we're here. San Francisco at Pittsburgh.
Ooh, interesting. You're right.
So that's part of it, and it's -2.5 now.
Yeah. Damn. Now I'm gonna second guess you. I gotta go with the Niners, bro. But
I'll go with the Steelers on this.
Okay.
And
the Niners do start out slow sometimes, but I'm a Niners guy this year.
Well,
I love them.
Especially if Bosa doesn't play, Pittsburgh comes in and shakes up. Imagine that. Imagine Steelers are 1-0, Bengals are 0-1.
This is a phenomenal coaching matchup. Shanahan, Tomlin.
It's a fun. I think that would be what the NFL would want to be the Super Bowl at one point.
Oh, yeah.
Someone said that. All right, the next game we have are the Titans at the Saints. I think this is your most interesting matchup of the week because great for whoever wins. Just a great start to the season on the right foot of being like, yep, this is what we expect.
Yeah.
Excuse me. You guys did not believe in us, or you weren't sure.
Yeah.
And the spread for this is Saints -3.
Yeah, so I didn't know that, dude. So like before we started, I was like, ooh, I have another upset. I thought the Titans were favored, but I'm picking the Saints on this one. You all right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. It's like it's an interesting. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm the only reason I think they gave the Saints 3 is because they're home. But I think that this is a coin toss.
Yeah, it's tight.
I mean, you got D-Hop eager to show off what he's done better. Tannehill, 35, 11 years in the league, 12 years in the league, is sitting there going, this is his 13th year, is being like, I'm being disrespected. I got 2 rookies 2 years in a row drafted under me. They're not good enough to start.
Yeah.
Yet here I am starting. I can run this team. We hand the ball off to our king for 25 times.
I like talking
Saints
to you.
Defense, a little older. We don't know how good they're going to be. You got Carr. We do know nothing about Carr. He takes a couple years to adjust to an offense. You got a coach that people didn't believe should have been hired in New Orleans. You got one of the best coaches with the Titans. For me, it's set up to be more of a disaster in New Orleans than it is in Tennessee. I think they were upset. They lost like 7 in a row, I think, at one point last year. The Titans. I think it was embarrassing for the coach, who's one of the better coaches. He's one coach of the year. I'm going to go ahead and take the points, but I'm also saying the Titans win.
Okay, sweet.
And Anthony takes the Saints.
Yeah. Wow, yeah, that's a tough. I like how you have a different perspective on Tannehill, and you're right. I think I'd love to see Tannehill just go off this year.
I don't think he goes off. I just think that I've always said I said it even last year. I go, listen, man, if you were gonna have a backup behind Tua for if Tua goes down, I'd want someone like a Tannehill.
Yeah,
I think he could fill in like a Garoppolo. Like I just feel like that's a safe bet. And if this is, I'd assume this is his last year in Tennessee. I think Miami's one of those San Francisco teams where if Tua doesn't work out, you got a lot of bridge guys to build capital around and try to draft your next guy. But at least for 2 years, maybe have a team that can build up defensively and have a crazy offense. I don't know. Yeah. That's another story to get behind later on, and we'll see what happens. But that's how I feel about the Titans. I think Titans are like the Steelers. I don't think these are teams that are ever going to go 5-11. Based off of what they have. So, that was a shocking last year, but I like the coach.
Yeah.
Our next game would be obviously the team you're going to want to bet on against the most, and that's the Cardinals at Washington, Arizona at Washington.
Yeah. That's a no-brainer.
Even though, Washington's kind of like, oh, how are they going to be? They're giving them 7 points right now. And this is a team that a lot of people think will be the last place team in their division. These are both last. Yeah. To have 2 last place teams matched up in week 1 and it's not -3, it's -7. That's how bad they think the Cardinals are going to be.
Yeah.
So I think we both agree that Washington's going to get a win here, and maybe, something.
Yeah, they say the rookie Clayton Tune is starting for the Cardinals.
Oh, they finally decided.
Yeah, and they
I mean, they are going to try to lose badly.
for Caleb. Yeah, but
Did you see the video? Hold on. Can we take a break right here from the picks? Did you see the video of the Cardinals coach talking to the players?
I didn't know.
I think you should pull it up and watch it right now.
Okay.
You have to watch this, and I'll talk to the audience about how. All right. Did you see the video of Deion Sanders after their win?
I didn't know.
Anthony, if you're going to be on a sports podcast, you got to be watching the trending viral things. Now,
You're right.
first, which one did you pull up right now?
Cardinals video of coach. What do I
Coach talking to the players. Cardinals coach talking to the players. I mean, bro, this is I don't like to bash on coaches. I like personality. Some people like a specific personality, like a McVay or Parcells. I like McDaniel. I've always liked people like Tony Dungy. Mm-hmm. But this is, if I was a fan of the Cardinals and I saw this video, I would be like, get that guy out of this park. Get him out of the stadium.
It's him talking to the player. I can't find it. Jonathan Gannon talking to players video. That's what I typed in.
No. Cardinals hype video of coach hyping players up. Locker room speech, whatever, something. Just type in something of the most recent viral video of it. I'd assume it should come up. I'll look for it.
Okay, I found. Yeah.
All right,
Wait, so if you see this, you're what? What'd you say?
watch this.
Okay.
I want you to watch it.
Who drove over here? Quick, let me see your hands. Who took the bus? You have fire in your gut? Did you? We're here for a reason. Don't get that twisted. Okay, we're here for a reason to win games. So if you didn't have that fire in your gut, you better light the fire pretty fast. Be who you are. Just understand, I'm looking for killers.
Get him out! Get him out of my stadium. Now go watch the Deion Sanders video. Now type that in. And I want you to I understand college players are different from NFL players, but anyone in a room. You're not watching the right video.
Oh, yeah,
Stop it.
that's the wrong one.
Deion Sanders pregame speech.
Oh, that's what I typed in. Okay, here we go. 3 days ago.
Hey designers and content creators, Adobe just hosted
Mute that. Mute that. Obviously mute it until the video comes on, right?
It was just 5 seconds.
Oh. Ready? Also, check out michaellenoci.com for new hoodies.
Because
What are you doing?
usually God gave me a word long before this,
Here we go.
but he's been holding it. Because it's not about them. This is about us. This has nothing to do with the team that's opposing us. This is about us. This ain't got nothing to do with the naysayers, the unbelievers, the haters, the doubters. This is about us. When we started this journey, we told you it was going to be trying, it was going to be tough, but you endured because it's about us. That man next to you is a miracle. That man next to you is a believer. That man next to you is a go-getter. That man next to you is a dog. That man next to you is somebody who wants this thing. That man next to you is somebody who believes. That man next to you is somebody that got to have it today. We ain't got tomorrow. We got now. We ain't got next. We got now. We ain't coming no more.
That's sick.
Since y'all know we here, give me my theme music.
Wow.
Bro, are you effing kidding me,
Wow,
dude?
dude. They're gonna.
Bro, are you
That's fire. That's
effing kidding me, dude?
He can
All
be
right,
president.
everybody's talking about that video. Bro, he could be president.
Yeah.
That's what he could be.
Yeah.
And you know what, dude? that speech just made him the hottest prospect in all of coaching and all of football already.
You think he's going to go to the NFL?
I think they'll try, but I think he's going to want to win a national championship, and that will take him 2 to 3 years. But I believe that this team becomes a top 10 team this year.
That'd be so cool, bro.
This year, I think they're in the top 10. They're ranked this week.
Yeah,
they got to
that's
22, right?
Yeah, that's wild. And do you,
bro?
But do you think he's the type of guy that could just probably get through better to younger kid, to like 18? To
No, I think he's so competitive.
Really?
That he is like, if you're not going to be as competitive, like I think he's as competitive as a Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Like he's like, if you're not gonna, but Michael Jordan has the cool Michael Jordan, I'm cool, it's my world. He has been teaching and mentoring kids for years. Since he's left the league, he would help kids get recruited to FSU. He's always been a part of FSU. Like, this is why you got to play for FSU, man. FSU's the best motherfucking college in the town.
Yeah.
Like, he's always been mentoring kids. He always knew how to connect with them. He just knows how to relate. But he's also an icon athletically. Him and Bo Jackson did both. And he's got charisma. And he's got swag.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got a sense of humor.
And he's got the
And
numbers
he's
to
cool.
back it up. Yeah,
he's a cool guy. Even the fact that he's got, and Florio and Sims were talking about, like, he's got them hyped up.
Yeah.
So, like, when people are like, well, sometimes the coaching doesn't transition from college to NFL. Bro, I'm 40. I'm 39. I want to work for someone like that.
Yeah.
I would want to work if he was the CEO of a company. Come on. You don't think this team is going to finish in the top 10 this year? I immediately watched that video for the second time and placed all my bets on this game against Nevada. I took the spread and I took the over because I think they're going to win 60 to like 20 against Nevada.
Wow.
Or Nebraska, whoever they're playing.
Dude, you don't really see many guys like that, like you just said, like just so crazy talented that are also like guys like that too. You know what I'm saying? Like motivated, care about other people.
Like maybe LeBron could do it a little bit. I don't know. Maybe he could coach.
Well, you said like Jordan's not like that teammate. Jordan would coach.
Like I wonder if Brady could coach. It's like, you thought maybe Manning would coach, but he has a personality. Brady, could he coach? He seems like he might be able to fire guys up.
Yeah, Manning at least does like that. Those like Peyton's Places things. He still does like cool stuff like that. But like,
I'm trying to think of old guys like who just wouldn't like. Yeah, like we don't have a lot of.
Favre wouldn't coach.
No, Ben Roethlisberger wouldn't.
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers wouldn't. I think Tom's really one of the only few guys that has retired that could possibly. I don't think Aaron Rodgers would. He doesn't seem like he would care enough.
Yeah,
you would think Ray Lewis would have been maybe a coach type. I could see him being a coach type, but maybe obviously he's not interested.
What did he do? He's on some media stuff.
Some stuff, yeah. He's fine. He hops in there, is on some shows, but like Dion. To be an icon and coach, you know what I mean? Like, what other icons in another sport coached? Even the basketball coaches are role players, right? How many superstars? I mean, Jason Kidd, a Hall of Famer basketball player, also played. I think Pat Riley and is probably maybe they. Yeah. He wasn't a Hall of Fame basketball player. The other guy for the Lakers was, before Pat Riley, who coached,
Phil Jackson.
No,
I don't know.
Who's the freaking emblem?
Jerry West.
Jerry West.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame basketball player and coach. Okay,
yeah, you're right.
So, I'm saying not a lot of maybe in baseball a little bit, but not, even those guys were never like superstar baseball players.
You're right. It's never
Joe Torre, regular player.
Don Mattingly's got to be the most talented player that became a coach, right? Not many.
Pete Rose was a coach.
He's
right?
a player coach, right? He did
right.
both.
Didn't he? Isn't he got suspended when he was a coach for the Reds? No.
Player coach, right?
He wasn't a head coach.
Maybe.
I don't know. Either way, there's like
football.
We would have to go deep research and have that ready to go before the episode. We would have to have a huge production to really have to have that information to get into that right now. We're just a mom and pop sports podcast.
But you'd expect Dion to be like a guy like Gary Payton. Like a great, cool, talented player, but he's like kind of just a chiller now, kind of like a cool guy.
He's awesome, man. And I remember now it looks like the FSU Seminoles have a good coach and their team looks great and they look like a playoff team. There was a point before we got this guy that I was like, there was a moment like, why don't we bring Dion?
Yeah.
And that would have been crazy. I mean, how crazy would the storyline if he went back to FSU? He would have never left.
Probably.
But yes, I think he could end up in the NFL. I think you could see him in two to 3 years. I think that he'll want to win a national championship and be like, see, I did it before he left.
Yeah.
But also, what controls everything is money. That could get him away if they're like, hey, man, if someone like, one of these rich owners is like, hey, we'll give you $50 million for 5 years.
Yeah.
If not more.
I could see him going to like a team that's like almost there. Like in 2 years, like say like Doug Peterson's done, say like the Jaguars is like ready.
Why would he be done in 2 years?
Say they have 2 years where they go deep
How about
in the
this?
playoffs and can't figure
If
out.
they
They're like,
fired
we need
the
to change
Bills coach,
Well, yeah, but so
That-
similar.
like that
So say
situation,
that's
yeah,
what the Jaguars
yeah.
do for the next 2 years. Yeah,
I think people.
A
I
young
think
team.
Peterson. I was just saying, but I know
Yeah.
that's the point you're trying to make. I just feel like Peterson's earned his
You're right.
way
you're
to
right.
buy three. He's a 3-year guy. After last year, he's bought himself at least 2. It would have to be 2 horrible seasons, but
Well,
he
you would
bought
think
himself
that,
3
bro,
years.
But they fired him 2 years after they won the.
That was
Super Bowl.
ownership beef, something like that. That was like
Okay.
personal. That wasn't performance based.
Okay.
That was relationship based. Which
Really? Okay.
now that could happen in any given Sunday with anyone, but that wasn't a performance based coach thing though.
Okay.
But either way, you got to get fired up for that. You got to get fired up for that. God,
Gannon's a loser. Huh? You can't find a better guy.
bro,
That's insane.
that's the whole point of that. Watching the first one and then watching that, you're like,
Yeah, exactly. You're
oh,
right.
that guy is like, I mean, at least McDaniel owns the way he motivates a team with
Yeah.
his words. Like he's cool, but he's like, he just isn't trying to be something he's not. And that's
Yeah.
authentic. And I think people smell inauthentic people. Like that guy seemed like he was out of his element trying to be like Campbell's Campbell.
Yeah,
That's how he is.
I'd rather have a guy like that by far than a guy like
Yeah.
Staley, from the Chargers, like,
I don't,
or even McDaniel.
I don't know why people don't like the Staley thing, but I get he doesn't seem like he has a personality like he's even funny. At least McDaniel's cracking jokes, is sarcastic.
Yeah, but Staley makes some crazy last minute decisions, very controversial last minute
Yeah,
decisions.
He
Which
likes to go
agree
for
with
it.
it or don't agree with it.
Yeah.
But it's controversial.
Yeah, I like the guy in Minnesota too. I like that coach a lot too.
Oh yeah.
And that's why I'm high on the Vikings and people are not high on them because we talked about how they have Flores as their defensive coordinator and that coach is offensive.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm high on them.
Arizona at Washington. Our next matchup. Am I going to say? Excuse me.
Bless
Our
you.
next matchup is another interesting one where I already know what you're going with, and I think I'm with you on that. We got Green Bay
Yeah.
at Chicago,
Yep.
and I'll buy into what I've seen. Right?
Yeah, dude. The spread is -1.
That's a pick'em game.
Yeah.
-1 Chicago, and I mean we're both going with Chicago on this because I got to see it first.
And it's gonna be
You want me to bet on Love? I got to see it.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a cool. It's gonna be like a prove it game for both young quarterbacks too, right?
Well, I think that the Chicago's gonna have a longer season too. I don't, I know that you think they're your sleeper playoff team, but I think hearing about like they still have O-line problems and defensively younger, that it's still gonna be a longer year for them. But for sure, it could be a 7-10 team,
yeah.
and hopefully he is running it less and passing it more.
Running, yeah, but then again, they got Khalil Herbert, speedy little guy. It could be a good team.
But either way, I mean, I'm taking Chicago in this,
Yeah,
and I would take Chicago and the under.
the under. I was thinking more over.
Green Bay's
low
got a
over.
really good defense.
Okay,
Um,
they're
And-
pumped on. They're pumped on Love though.
Yeah, I mean, we saw him play. He played good in the game he
Mhm.
was in. He actually looked okay. Our next game, and this one's fun for me because there's some sort of love there from Anthony. But we got the Raiders at Broncos, and I think it's similar to the last game. I got to see it to believe it. So I will take the Raiders in this.
Me too.
And for whatever reason, the Broncos, it's -3.5, and I think that's the Sean Payton thing.
And the home.
And they're home.
Yeah, in Denver.
But I've
Denver
seen
being home.
Garoppolo, and I think he can manage game, and I think they still have Josh Jacobs, and I think they still have Devontae Adams, and I still think that I don't have I don't know about the coach yet, but I think that I have to see Russell Wilson play better for at least one game before I'm like, oh, they did fix it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know yet. I just think that they could be a bigger disaster if not.
But it makes sense. I think the Raiders will be good because it's like an X's and O's guy like McDaniel, right? And you have a quarterback that you can kind of control, like Garoppolo, right? You have a great running back. You have kind of every step. You got a great number one wide receiver. You have a little slot wide receiver. You have a good defensive line. So they have
kind of. I mean, you have one guy now. Now you have a hole.
You're right. Now that one
you have
guy,
a big
you're
hole.
right, yeah.
And I don't know about your cornerback situation.
But I
Either
think
way, I'm
coaches
not
like
gonna buy
Garoppolo
in-
because they can control him.
I'm not going to buy into them being good.
I think they'll be
I could buy into them not being horrible.
above 500. 500, you think?
If you said if it was 7.5, I would take the over. If it was 8.5, I would take the under. That's how I feel about them.
Okay.
Just because I think the Chargers and Chiefs are a lot better, and I think those two teams should sweep both of those two teams.
Okay.
I think those two should go 4-0, and then they split each other. They both go 5-1 in the division, Chargers and Chiefs. I wouldn't be surprised. That would make sense to me. The next game, Miami versus the Chargers. And based off of what I'm seeing and hearing and what I think, I am not, as a Dolphin fan, saying this, but I'm taking the Dolphins with or without the points.
Okay.
And I have my reasons because I got to see it to believe it. We got a new offensive coordinator in L.A. We got the Dolphins on their second year of the same offense. We got the same offense across the board with upgrades to offensive line, although Armstead could be out. Now, Chargers, we got a hot seat coach. Just a lot of pressure. Opening day.
Yeah.
Dolphins lost to them last year. They were the first team to stop Tua in their offense. They gave them a hard time. They stopped the middle of the field. It was a tight game until the end. Chargers won by getting a first down. And there's a lot of, kind of little resentment from Miami maybe being like, okay, now let me draw up a new offensive game plan and see if you could deal with this. It's going to be a good game regardless. This one I would take the over. It's like 51 as well. And I'll take the over. But the one guarantee I have in this game, Tua is starting and playing. It's week 1. So that's what I'm excited about where,
This is tough. This is going to be a really good game.
Yeah.
I said it.
And I like it. It's in the 4 o'clock spot for East Coast people.
It's
a late game.
I said a few weeks ago on here that I think Herbert's going to make a solid MVP run this year. Yeah, I think the Chargers will pull it off.
All right. We go with Anthony and the Chargers. So we'll see what happens. Only time will tell. Our next game, another for sure one for me. Eagles at Patriots. Eagles at Patriots. And a storyline people love to remind people about every year are Super Bowl hangovers for the NFC teams.
Okay.
Or no Super Bowl team who's been in the Super Bowl, made the playoffs or something like that. That's a lot. There's no one in the East that's won the same division 2 years in a row in the last 15 seasons.
Wow.
Yeah, something crazy like that for the East. It's something like that. The curse is done. It's done this year. The Eagles are going to be a top 2 team. They're going to go deep in the playoffs. They're going to win the division again. They're going to be the face of the NFC, which the NFC hasn't had a face of for years, really.
You could still do that.
Green Bay was
one.
kind of consistent for years because they had Rodgers, but he wasn't winning games. I just think that the Eagles are going to be the first team to break the NFC East cycle and win the division again. And I think that they are going to be a solid team all year long. I think they continue to play. I mean, they didn't lose that Super Bowl because they played bad.
No.
I mean, dude, what's his name? They still said could have even won Super Bowl MVP on the losing team.
Oh, for sure.
I expect him to have another MVP caliber year.
Oh, me too. And I think, honestly, dude, I think they kind of got better. I'm a huge DeAndre
I think
Swift
so
fan.
too. And their second year coach offense, right? Third year.
Devontae's going to be better too.
Devontae's going to get better. You have AJ Brown. You have a lot of running backs back there. They have a lot. They have like 3 or 4 that they can play with regardless of injury.
Yeah,
defensively, they still have some of the top cornerbacks in the game. I just think that they could easily run through them. They could be a 13-14 win team.
Yeah.
And people are just like, why did we even think? I think if anything, the 49ers could struggle more, but they'll still be as good. But I'm more comfortable with betting, and that's why, not to get ahead of ourselves, my Super Bowl prediction was Jags versus Eagles.
That'd be cool.
Because it's like I could see the Jags doing what the Bengals did 2 years ago.
I could see
where
that.
they're like, oh, they made it to the AFC Championship against the Chiefs or the Bengals or the Bills, which at that point he would lose his job if he lost the Jags. But I think regardless, he loses his job because they bounce early this year.
Yeah.
The Bills, and they need to. The only way I said, you remember at the beginning of the year, the only way he keeps his job is if they make it to the championship game and lose to the Chiefs. Otherwise, they got to go to the Super Bowl. They could lose to the Chiefs or the Bengals in the championship game. The Bills.
Okay.
They can't lose to anyone else. If they lost to those two teams, you're like, well, those are the juggernauts, and we stand at number 3. But if you lose to the Jags in the AFC Championship,
you think they're not trying to push past number 3, and they say if we
oh,
don't
of
get
course,
past
but
number
like,
3, then we're
but I think it's a very successful season if they lost to the Chiefs or Bengals again in the AFC Championship. I don't think he deserves to get fired. I think because everyone thinks they're going to take a step back this year. If they got there, you're like, oh, and he played competitive and not fumbled into the second round, like almost losing to the Dolphins and Skylar Thompson.
Yeah,
that's a big coaching misstep. You should have killed the Dolphins and you didn't.
Yeah.
And then, so Eagles is an easy choice here for me.
I'm going with the Patriots.
And we'll just let the comment section be what it wants to be. You know what I mean? Like, I know we're trying to have some integrity as sports journalists here on this podcast, as comedians, but
as comedians,
it's just, let him have his team.
Oh.
Are there going to be weeks I pick against the Dolphins?
So
of course.
You let off by saying a pretty common thing of why people think the Patriots are going to win, and they're at home, and the NFC hangover. So that's a valid thing. You let off.
I don't think a lot of people are taking that. I think that
the spread's only 4.
Yeah, you're right. It is only 4 because it's week 1, and I think that's easy money.
Okay.
I think that's an easy money game. I think that, we'll see.
Yeah, it's
the next games you have Rams at Seahawks. Now, I think this is an easy one for people. I'm back on the Seahawks train, but I'm not saying that this is a reason why I'm picking them. I think everyone's going to be picking them. The spread is -5, but I think the Rams. I was high on them for a second, but looking at the team and hearing there's like 19 rookies on the team. I'm just not buying. I mean, Aaron Darnold can still have a great season.
I flipped, dude. I was very low on the Rams. I'm picking the Rams.
You're picking the Rams.
Yeah.
Interesting, Anthony. And why is that?
I think Stafford is gonna have a good little comeback player of the year
with Cup. But like, who's playing on their defense besides Darnold? And who's playing on their offense besides Cup and Stafford? Like, they got 19 rookies on the team.
I think Cam Akers have a decent year.
Well, that's a choice he's going with, and he's, I think he would need the points. But our matchup of the week here, Cowboys at Giants. I'm not, I think people were kind of upset when I said we argued about this Daniel Jones thing earlier in the year.
Yeah.
Of me saying that I'll bet you they wish they could have picked up his 5th-year option last year and not had to pay him because they were uncertain about him. And here they are, they had to give him a contract because they rather believe in him and give him a contract so that makes him play better, hopefully, rather than let him walk and be good somewhere else. Either way, point being, I thought they should have picked up his 5th-year option a year ago. But the spread here, 3.5, Dallas on the road. There's a reason I'm behind Dallas too. I'm even behind them, being high up there and being the only ones that could maybe stop the Eagles.
Yeah, I agree. I like the Cowboys a lot this year.
Okay.
They're the juggernaut. Here we go, dude. This is the big one.
The biggest game of the week, Monday night. Gonna be watching it here on my couch. Not sure who to go for. I'll be sitting there going, who do I want to be good?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In my head, I'll want the Bills to win because logically I'm thinking, I got to play them week 4, right? I got to play them week 4. Do I think they lose to the Jets and then go 2-2? I don't buy that as much.
Yeah.
Bills starting 2-2. Is it possible? Very well, they could be 2-2. But I'd rather them be 3-0 going into the Miami game.
Okay.
That would make it more like, okay, they have a better chance of losing. Whereas if they're desperate, if they're 2-1, they're a little more desperate and they're like, we can't lose this. Whereas we don't play the Jets till later in the season.
Okay.
So Also, if the Jets win this game in New York opening day and beat the Bills, the king of the AFC East for the last 3 years,
Yeah.
that's scary. For me,
You're
that's
right.
scary. I think if you're the Bills, you're playing Deion Sanders' speech, and you're sitting there going, this is our division, and this guy comes over from Green Bay at 39 and thinks they're the Super Bowl team now.
Yeah, but the Jets got probably the closest thing to Deion Sanders in the NFL, right?
Who's that?
Saleh. He can get people fired up.
McVay? Campbell?
Well, that's I thought of that when we left when we started talking about Dallas. I'm big on McVay too. I think McVay's coaching for his job this year too. So
No, they begged him to come back.
really?
Yeah, I mean, he was going to
sorry.
go walk and maybe go into broadcasting. You remember? And they're like, all right, he'll stay. I think they know that this could be a rebuilding year.
Okay.
Unless he
But-
thinks like they're willing to build a young team around him.
But yeah, after watching Hard Knocks, it made me
You bought into his acting
no.
skills.
It made me like the Jets a little more, like the team that they have. But it also made me kind of realize like they're not going to come out and be great right away. I'm picking the Bills. They, especially in those practices, made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, I'm picking the Bills too.
I'm going with the Bills. And as a
Both
as
these
a-
coaches are on a hot seat for different reasons.
I think Salah's got a couple years too. Right?
I think if they go 7-10,
Oh, I would love that. Wouldn't you love that?
yeah, of course I
that'd
would
be
love
sick.
it. I would love them. Man, I would love it. It seems like he's going to be with the Jets for 2 years, but I would love for them to go 7-10, and then he goes, you know what? I'm going to Minnesota, and just do the Brett Favre thing.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, I got to go with the Bills until I see it, because yeah, we're all buying in the Bills take a step back, and I kind of hope they do,
Yeah.
but I got to see it first. I got to see them take a step back.
Yeah, but
Does their hangover from last year, where they started playing bad at the end of the year, still happen?
But we've talked about this before, to where it's like I feel like in January we could be talking about like, yeah, remember in the off season we're talking about all this Bills drama. It's like stuff is just media hype stuff up. You know, I
I
fell
don't think
into
there's
it
any
too.
drama anymore. I'm just
Well, there
more like,
was. There was. Remember? We
yeah,
talked
but I
about-
don't think that's a thing.
exactly.
I don't think anyone's buying into it either, because people are still taking digs in the first round
Yeah.
in fantasy. I'm saying people think they're just going to take a step back. They didn't say they were going to take a step back because of their drama. They think that just the coaching
know. I
and
was
them
actually-
not improving the team. They're the only team they feel like, well, besides the Patriots, they didn't really improve as much as some of these other AFC teams. They didn't add really anything besides draft picks.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Yeah.
actually, the Bills, the least in our division, have not added stuff. They had an opportunity to add a running back, add a wide receiver. They, their defense it's just the same, and they don't have Von Miller back yet.
Yeah.
It's the same team,
Right.
and
Same
they
good
seem
team,
like
though.
to struggle. What?
Same good team though.
That struggled at the end of the year.
In the against great teams, right? I mean,
They
Miami.
tailed off. They kind of tailed off. Like I think they,
I know what you're saying. But they're still a very
They
talented
just
team. I
didn't
think
seem
they
like their
come out.
offense was clicking as well. But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going with the Bills as well too.
Yeah.
And that's that. So I mean, we have our games and we have our different games. Your upset of the week is the Lions. I guess my upset of the week, if I had to pick one,
You do.
I mean, is Chicago an upset? No, that's a pickup. Are the Raiders an upset? No.
Tech-
Is Miami
tech-
an upset?
Technically, the Raiders is a small upset.
Is Miami an upset?
You
Not
pick Titans. That's technically an
I
upset.
guess Titans would be my upset of the week. You know what I
Titans and
mean?
Raiders.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, and you picked Steelers. That's a big upset.
That's my upset.
That's
of
your
the week.
upset,
The
yeah.
Steelers over the 49ers.
That's a huge upset. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think 2.5 is a small line. It should be. If I'd put it 4 or 5, but yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm excited. We'll see. That's week 1. Also, I might put out a Miami Dolphins pregame thing for Dolphin fans. That will be a bonus video later this week. Maybe I'll do that Saturday if I'm excited. If I'm really excited, but I will do obviously recap Sunday night when I get back from the game. I'll do a recap, and then we'll hop on this next Tuesday for week 2, and we'll see where we're at, and we'll have a better understanding of what teams. And you obviously can't overreact. Some teams are going to start off slowly.
Well, that's the game, dude.
But we'll get a little taste of like, how do you think teams are good? Did they lose really bad, or did they play well and lose?
There's gonna be one thing that happens that's like if the Texans come out and scrape against the Ravens, like something crazy.
You're gonna see something from a rookie where you're like, oh, he's gonna have a good year, and then
Panthers
they don't have a good year.
Right,
There could be like also a superstar that starts off slow, and you're like, dude, he didn't look good quarterback wise.
Or we could find out like the next year's like a new first round running back. These running backs pop up every year.
Sometimes,
the next
I think
Breece
they
Hall.
come in late.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe, keep following, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, see you next week.
Bye.